Today's episode is inspired by a wonderful question from one of our listeners, Crystal. And the moment I read her message, I thought, oh my goodness, there are probably thousands of women asking this very same question. So Crystal wrote, "We are purchasing our first home. What steps should we be taking to make sure we are making good financial choices on the home?" Crystal, first of all, congratulations. What an exciting season. Buying your very first home is something you'll probably remember for the rest of your life. It's still filled with anticipation, hope, dreams, Pinterest boards, imagining where the Christmas tree will go, picturing your family gathered around the dinner table. It's such a beautiful milestone. And I truly couldn't be happier for you, because becoming a homeowner is about so much more than buying a house. You're creating a place where memories will be made, birthdays will be celebrated, children will grow up, and life will happen. But here's something I wish someone had told us before we bought our first home almost 30 years ago. Everyone prepares you for getting the house. They'll help you shop for the mortgage. They'll explain the interest rate. They'll schedule the inspection. They'll walk you through the closing documents. But very few people prepare you for what happens after you get the keys. How do you actually enjoy your home? How do you keep it from becoming a source of financial pressure instead of peace? How do you make sure that the home you've worked so hard to buy continues to support your family instead of quietly draining your energy, your time, and even your relationships? That's what today's conversation is really about, because if I could give every first-time homebuyer just one piece of financial advice, it wouldn't be about finding a better interest rate or negotiating a lower purchase price. It would be this: build a simple financial system for your family before you build your life around the house. And today, I would love to share why that one lesson changed everything for our family, and why I believe it can change yours too. If you're tired of debt calling your choices, bills running your day, and groceries eating your paycheck, and ready to finally live life on your terms, debt-free, guilt-free, and unstoppable, welcome to the Financial Planning Podcast. Hi, I'm Deanna, a mom of 4, creator of the 2-line budget, a believer in big dreams and God-given purpose. I help working moms break free from financial overwhelm, take control of their money, and build the clarity, confidence, and peace you need to make wise financial decisions. Here you'll discover simple and practical financial solutions designed to strengthen your home and build lasting financial stability, and maybe enjoy a weekend escape. Because when money becomes simple, your whole life opens up. And I'm here to show you how. Now, Crystal and friend who is listening today, I would love for you to think about homeownership from a little different perspective. The day you become a homeowner, you also become the CEO of a small family business. Now, stay with me for a minute, okay? Because most of us think we are simply buying a place to live. a place to raise our family, decorate, plant flowers, maybe finally paint the kitchen the color we've always wanted. And yes, that's all true, but behind the beautiful front door is something else. Your home has its own operating expenses, right? Every single month. There is the mortgage, property taxes, homeowner's insurance. You pay for utilities, then internet, lawn care. Then you need repairs you never planned for, right? And the air conditioner that decides to stop working on the hottest day of summer. And then the water heater that suddenly says, well, my job here is done. And then your roof, then plumbing, the appliances, and the list goes on and on and on. And before you know it, your home has become a little business that needs wise leadership every single month. And here's what I've discovered after almost 30 years. A successful homeowner isn't the one who buys the biggest house. It's the one who knows how to manage the money that keeps that home running with peace. Because your house doesn't simply need a mortgage payment. It needs a financial operating system. It needs someone leading it with purpose. And friend, that's you. Yes, my friend. That's why I believe one of the greatest gifts you can give your family isn't a bigger house. It's a simple financial system that allows everyone inside that house to actually enjoy living there. Because what's the purpose of having your dream home? If you're too exhausted, too overwhelmed, or too financially stressed to enjoy the life happening inside its walls. So, Crystal, if you were sitting across the table from me today with a cup of coffee and asked, Diana, what's the one thing I should do before we buy our first home? Without hesitation, this would be my answer. Just build your family's financial operating system first. Not after you move in, not once you see how the payment go, not when life settles down. Because let's be honest, does life ever really settle down? Build it first. Because the number one thing you need before buying a home isn't a lower interest rate. It's not finding another $5,000 for a bigger down payment. And as surprising as it may sound, it's not even finding the perfect house. The most important thing is knowing exactly how your family's finances are going to support that dream once the excitement of closing day is over. You see, buying a home is actually the easy part. And then living in it with peace, month after month, year after year, that's the real journey. And that's where so many wonderful families begin to struggle. Not because they made a bad purchase, not because they weren't responsible, and definitely not because they didn't work hard enough, but because no one showed them how to build a financial system that could actually sustain the life they were dreaming about. Friend, a beautiful home can quickly become a heavy burden when every month feels like you're simply trying to keep up. When you're wondering whether you can afford groceries after paying the mortgage. When the water heater breaks and your first thought is, we'll take care of it, but how in the world are we going to pay for this? When every unexpected expense steals your sleep, when every paycheck already has a job before it even reaches your bank account, that's not the kind of home ownership I want for you. Because here's what I've learned after nearly 30 years. A house doesn't create financial peace. A financial system creates financial peace. The house simply becomes the place where that peace gets to live. That's why I teach every family I work with to build the financial operating system first. A simple way to know where your money is going. A simple way to know what's covered every month. And a simple way to prepare for groceries, gas, home repairs, vacations, kids' activities, and yes, even those surprises that always seem to come at the least convenient time. Because, friend, a beautiful home without a financial system can quietly become a financial prison. And I don't say that to scare you. I say it because I lived it. And if I can help you avoid that pain while still enjoying the dream of becoming a homeowner, then every lesson we learned along the way was worth sharing. Yes, I know this because that's exactly what happened to us. Almost 30 years ago, my husband and I bought our very first home. And let me tell you, we were beyond excited. We had done what so many young families dream about. We had saved, worked hard, and finally held the keys to a place we could call our own. To us, it felt like we had finally achieved the American dream. And honestly, it was a wonderful home. It was in a beautiful neighborhood. The schools were good. The neighbors were kind. The house checked every box on our wish list. We walked through every room imagining birthdays, Christmas mornings, family dinners, and all the memories we were going to make there. And now, looking back, I still believe it was an incredible purchase. It was a great house. It was a smart investment. And when we eventually sold it, just 3 years later, it had already gained equity. And financially speaking, it was a good decision. But here's what I didn't understand at 20-something years old. The biggest financial decision isn't simply buying the house. It's building a life that allows you to enjoy living in it. Because there was one problem. It wasn't the mortgage, and it wasn't the interest rate, and it wasn't the neighborhood, and it wasn't even the house. It was our life. You see, I absolutely loved my job. I worked in the corporate office of one of the most recognized outdoor clothing companies in Washington state as a technical designer. I loved what I did. My manager appreciated me. I was good at my work. There wasn't a single reason for me to leave, except one. To keep our monthly mortgage payment lower, we bought our home farther away from where I worked. At the time, it seemed like the smart financial decision because of thinking that we'll save money on the house payment. And technically, we did. But what I never calculated, what the cost of the commute. Every single day I spent hours sitting in traffic. My workday wasn't just 8 hours anymore, it became 12. Sometimes 14 hours from the moment I left home until I walked back through the front door. My children spent their days in daycare. By the time I picked them up, made dinner, cleaned the house, and got everything ready for the next morning, there wasn't much of me left to give. And then the weekend would come. It seemed like long-awaited weekend, right? And instead of feeling excited that I finally had 2 whole days with my family, I was exhausted, completely drained. All I wanted was to rest. Meanwhile, my little kids just wanted their mom. And my husband. He wanted his wife. We loved each other, We loved our children. We loved our home. But slowly, without even realizing it, our house was costing us something much bigger than money. It was costing us our peace, our time together, our energy, and even our marriage began to feel the weight of it. And then came the day I'll never forget. I had come home earlier before picking up the kids from daycare. The house was completely quiet. No little feet running down the hallway, no laughter, no toys scattered across the floor, just silence. And I walked into the living room and I laid down on the carpet. I still remember reaching down and grabbing it with both hands. And it wasn't green carpet. It was this beautiful light tan Berber carpet. I can still picture it. It was brand new, soft, fluffy, exactly the kind of carpet I had always wanted. Funny the things we remember, isn't it? But what I remember even more is how tightly I held onto that Berber carpet. And I cried. Not for 5 minutes, not for 10, for over an hour. I sobbed because I realized something that completely changed the way I looked at money. I hadn't bought a home to spend my life away from it. I hadn't worked so hard to finally have a beautiful place to live, only to become too exhausted to enjoy it. I didn't want my children to remember a house. I wanted them to remember their mom. And that afternoon became one of the biggest turning points in our lives. It wasn't really about the house anymore. It wasn't about the life we wanted our money to build. And that realization changed everything. And as I look back today, I realized something that I couldn't see back then. It wasn't because I hated our house, not at all. I absolutely loved our house. It wasn't because we bought too much house. And it wasn't because we made a terrible financial decision. In fact, financially speaking, buying that home actually turned out to be a good investment. We built equity, and when we sold it just 3 years later, we walked away with more than what we had paid. So, what went wrong? It wasn't the house. What it was, it's the order of our decisions. We built our home before we built our financial system. We had a mortgage, but we didn't have a complete financial operating system that supported the life we wanted to live inside that home. We knew what our mortgage payment would be, but we hadn't stopped to ask, what kind of life do we want this home to give us? Would I still have time to be with my children? Would our marriage become stronger? Would we have margin for family dinners, vacations, unexpected repairs, and simply enjoying life? Would I come home with enough energy left to actually be a mom? Those were the questions we never asked. And friend, those are the questions I encourage every family to ask before buying a home. Because buying a home isn't just a financial decision. It's a lifestyle decision. It's a family decision. It's your values decision. Because your mortgage payment isn't the only price you'll pay. Sometimes you'll pay with your commute. Sometimes you'll pay with your evenings. Sometimes you'll pay with your weekends. And sometimes you'll pay with your energy. And if you're not intentional, you may slowly begin paying with your peace. That's why I believe every family needs something much bigger than a budget. You need a simple financial operating system that supports your values, your priorities, and the season of life you're in. Because here's what I've learned after coaching families for years. Money should never become the boss of your family. Your money should serve your family. It should support your marriage. It should support your children. It should support your dreams. It should support the life God has placed in front of you, not quietly pull you away from it. And that's the lesson our first home taught me. Not how to buy a house, but how to build a life that allows you to truly enjoy living in it. And friend, that afternoon on the living room floor changed the direction of our family's life. And it happened not overnight, not because everything suddenly became easy, but because for the first time, we asked ourselves a different question. Not how do we buy this house, but what kind of life do we want our family to have? And once we answered that question, the decisions became much clearer. They certainly weren't easy. And in fact, they were some of the hardest financial decisions we've ever made. And one decision changed everything. I quit my job. Can you imagine? Here I was, working in the corporate office of one of the most recognized outdoor clothing companies in the state of Washington. And I loved my work. I loved the people. My managers didn't want me to leave. On paper, walking away made absolutely no sense. But in my heart, I knew something had to change. So we made another difficult decision. We sold our beautiful home. We packed everything we owned. We left the city. We moved across the country to a place where we didn't know anyone. We left family, our familiar routines, everything. And we started over. And now looking back, people might think we were running away, but we weren't. We were actually running toward something, toward peace, toward our family, toward our values, toward a life where I could be present with my children while they were still little, toward evenings around the dinner table instead of evenings sitting in traffic, toward building a life that reflected what mattered most to us. Was it scary? Absolutely. Were there still financial challenges? Oh, yes. And we didn't magically escape hard decisions. We still had bills, unexpected expenses, moments of uncertainty. But something was completely different this time. Our financial decisions were guided by our values instead of our circumstances. We weren't simply asking, can we afford this? We started asking, does this help us build the life we truly want? And somewhere during that season, almost 30 years ago, I began creating the simple financial system I still teach today. Not because I wanted to invent another budgeting method, and not because I loved spreadsheets. Actually, quite the opposite. I built it because I wanted something simple enough to use in real life. A financial system that helped us pay the bills with confidence, save for the future, enjoy our family, and make financial decisions that supported our dreams instead of competing with them. That simple system carried our family through different seasons of life for nearly 3 decades. And today, It's the very same foundation I have the privilege of teaching other families. Because if my story can help another mom enjoy her home instead of feeling trapped by it, then every difficult step along our journey was worth it. So, what does building a financial operating system actually mean? It means knowing your finances so well that you're no longer guessing where your money went at the end of the month. You know exactly how much income is coming into your home. You know what needs to be paid every month before anything else. You have a simple plan for everyday spending like groceries, gas, and the little purchases that are part of real life. When you're intentionally building your savings, even if it's just a small amount at a time, while creating an emergency fund that gives you peace instead of panic when life throws you a surprise. It also means planning ahead for the things every homeowner will eventually face. New tires on the car, replacing the water heater, home maintenance, holidays, vacations, and the dreams that matter most to your family. Instead of simply reacting to life, you're preparing for it. And most importantly, your money begins reflecting your values. When your finances support the life you want to build, the family you want to nurture, and the dreams that have quietly been waiting for the right season. And friend, that's exactly what we build together inside of my financial stability coaching. Using my simple 2-line budget, I'll help you organize your finances into one complete, easy-to-follow financial system without spreadsheets, without juggling dozens of accounts, and without feeling overwhelmed. You'll live with a clear financial roadmap, practical next steps, and the confidence of knowing that your money is finally working for your family instead of against it. I truly believe every family deserves that kind of clarity before making one of the biggest investments of their lives. Just close your eyes for a second and just imagine something with me. Instead of walking through your new front door and constantly wondering, oh gosh, can we actually afford this? You just know. You have absolute certainty. Instead of holding your breath on the first of the month, hoping the mortgage payment clears, you're completely relaxed because you already planned for it weeks ago. Imagine not feeling that nagging wave of guilt when you're standing in the grocery checkout line because you know every single item in your cart is already covered. And when your car inevitably needs a new set of tires, there is a plan. When the water heater inevitably breaks, because trust me, it always does when you own a home. And here's the plan. When Christmas rolls around, there is a plan. When your child comes home begging for piano lessons, and here's the plan. And when you just desperately need to pack up the kids and take a vacation to breathe, you have the plan. That's what we are building for you. Not just the house, but the life where you actually get to live in it with total peace of mind. Here's the heart of what I want to share with you today. I don't just want you to become a homeowner. I want you to actually enjoy being one. I want that new house to become your sanctuary, the place where your family feels safe, where you make memories, and where you can truly let your guard down. I don't want it to become your biggest source of stress or the thing that keeps you tossing at 2 a.m. in the morning. And if you're thinking about buying your first home, or maybe you've already bought one, and you want to make sure your finances support your dream instead of stealing your peace, I would love to help you. During our financial stability coaching session, we will build your family's financial operating system. We'll organize your money, clarify your priorities, create your simple 2-line budget, and you'll walk away knowing exactly what comes next. Crystal, thank you for asking this question. I truly believe you're asking it at exactly the right time because buying a home is exciting. Keeping peace inside the home, that's where intentional financial planning begins. Friend, don't wait until your dream home starts feeling heavy. Build the financial foundation first so your home becomes a place where your family can flourish for years to come. I would love to help you. Just visit dianagalas.com/coaching. It's dianagalas.com/coaching. And let's build a financial system that supports not just your house, but your whole life. Friend, thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I truly hope this episode gave you a fresh perspective on what it really means to prepare for home ownership. Sometimes the best financial decision isn't finding a better house. It's building a stronger financial foundation first. And if today's episode answered your question, taught you something new, or simply helped you look at your finances from a different perspective, would you take just a minute to leave a 5-star written review for the Financial Planning for Working Moms podcast? Because your reviews help this podcast reach more women who are looking for practical, encouraging financial guidance. And I read every single one of them. I would also love to continue this conversation inside our private community. Join us at dianagalas.com/community, where you can share your thoughts, ask questions, celebrate your wins, and encourage other women who are on the same journey toward financial peace and confidence. And until next time, please remember this: your money has the power to build the life you dream about. You simply need a plan that helps it serve what matters most. Have a beautiful week, friend, and keep moving one simple step closer to the life you're creating. I am glad you joined me today. If this episode lifted some weight off your shoulders, pass that lightness on to another woman who could use it too. Make sure to follow the Financial Planning Podcast so each week you can unwrap simple money strategies helping you design and build financial stability at your home and experience the clarity, peace, and direction your life is craving. You're doing better than you think, truly. Keep going and keep leading your money, not chasing it. Right here, your clarity grows, your confidence builds, and your new financial story begins. 1 week, 1 step, 1 win at a time.